This is the weekend edition of iFIBER One News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Bethany Jenks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER One News.
From the iFIBER One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was about the Moses Lake Relay for Life that drew more than 400 people to support cancer survivors and remember those who have died from cancer. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
More than 400 people gathered at Moses Lake High School this weekend for the annual Relay for Life to support the American Cancer Society. More than 34 teams registered to participate in the event that kicked off Saturday afternoon. Organizer Shannon Poff explains the theme of this year's event.
The theme of this year's Relay for Life is 80s. It's been 30 years since Dr. Gordon Klatt created Relay for Life here in the great state of Washington. He spent an entire night walking with his friends, raising money, and here we are 30 years now.
About $51,000 has been raised so far this year, with 74 cents of every dollar raised during Relay for Life going to cancer research. The Relay for Life returned to the high school track this year.
Actually had a goal. We're kind of rebuilding this year. We're bringing it back to the track, showing people how much fun it can be out here. So we're anticipating next year to have it grow a heck of a lot more.
Participants, including cancer survivors, began circling the track around 3 p.m. on Saturday, and at least one member of each team continued walking throughout the night.
All night long, all the way until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning when we do our closing ceremony. Walking, themed laps, having a great time. We're going to do some dancing, and it's going to be great.
And as the sun set, people gathered for the traditional luminary ceremony, where bags, some with messages for loved ones, are lit up around the track to remember and celebrate cancer survivors or people who died of cancer. This year's luminary ceremony was dedicated to Cliff Smith, a longtime Moses Lake resident who died of cancer earlier this year and was a speaker at last year's event.
Luminary ceremony is a time to reflect, remember, honor our survivors and the people that we've lost.
Yeah, I can write on this.
This year's cancer survivor speaker was Jim Thorne, a nurse and volunteer firefighter with Grant County Fire District 5, who recently had his last round of chemotherapy after being diagnosed with cancer in February.
So we're here to raise money for cancer, but we're also here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate the survivors. We're here to celebrate the caregivers, support from friends, but mostly I think we're here to also celebrate in the remembrance of those that aren't with us anymore.
People can still make donations for Relay for Life until August 31st on the Moses Lake event page on the American Cancer Society website at relay.acsevents.org. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER One News.
Students at Frontier Middle School in Moses Lake got a surprise visit from the Seattle Seahawks as part of the NFL's Play 60 program. Reporter Devin Higgins was there and has the story.
Celebration and anticipation were in the air on Friday as Frontier Middle School held an assembly capping their year of participating in the National Football League's Play 60 program. The program encourages kids of all ages to get in at least 60 minutes of physical activity per day. Students and teachers sported Seattle Seahawks colors in the hopes they'd be recognized as the best program in the state and earning a visit from the team. PE teacher Rita Garner was the one who sprung the surprise.
The thing of it is that for about the last week and a half, there's a few of us in this building that have been keeping a gigantic secret from you guys. And the thing of it is that we haven't told you, is that we already won that Seattle Seahawks Assembly. It's happening right now, you guys.
Former Seahawks quarterback and Puyallup native Brock Heward turned out to take photos and sign autographs, as did Blitz, the Seahawks mascot. Gardner explained how she used the program to help get students involved in nutrition and physical fitness.
Well, I actually looked into the program in 2011, and I decided at the beginning of the school year that I wanted to do something really extraordinary for our school. So I showed it to one of my students, and she came back the next day, and she said, "Hey Gardner, I signed up for the program." And so from there, her and I worked together, and the program just took off.
Gardner said Frontier was the only school in the state to get a visit from the Seahawks as part of the program. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be right back after this.